Okay, hello. We'll start in a minute. I just want it to be 7:5. The networks are misbehaving, so if we just give people maybe 2 more minutes, if not, we'll just start. So, okay. Good evening, everybody. If you can hear me, I'll be happy if you just give me a wave or say hi so that I know that you can hear me. Hello? If you can hear me, please give me a wave or say hi so that I know that you can hear me and we can go right ahead. Okay. All right. Thank you. Yeah. So you can. Okay. Let's say a word of prayer and then we start and go right ahead. Father, we are grateful for your mercies. We thank you for another day like this. We ask that you take control of this meeting. And I ask that, Father, we will have cause to exalt you because at the end of this meeting, we would have gleaned from your wisdom and would have become better versions of ourselves. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, so my connections are misbehaving. I'm going to try and go ahead so that we don't waste too much time. Welcome to the first ever Facebook Live Reina Speaks Making Me series. And our prayer is that we can get as many people onto it as possible so that we know how to become better versions of ourselves. And I would entreat us that we do not just listen or watch, but we also apply what we hear, because that is what is going to make the difference. If we just watch or listen and we do not really apply what we hear, it doesn't make any difference. So I pray that we will listen, we will watch, and then we will apply what we hear so that it makes it better. My name is Nanefia, but on social media I'm known as Reina. Reina speaks because I like talking, which you're going to see in a minute. So that is generally what it is about me. Thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for the opportunity to speak to you. I hope that I can make an impact today. Now, remember that you can just put any question in the comment section as we move along, so that if I see it, I can stop and answer, or I can finish an answer. But just in case anything comes into your heart that you want to ask, whether it is a question, whether it's a contribution, just put it inside the comment section and I'll see it. Hi. Messi, hello, welcome. Teresa, welcome. King's Kid, welcome. You're all welcome. We'll go right ahead. Now, most people do not know who they are, so to speak. Most people do not know what they want and what they want to achieve, and what most people don't even know that they are needed in the world. But before we begin, I want you to understand something. You are needed. You are very needed in this world. God, for a purpose. He put you on the earth to come and accomplish something big. So everybody here, Raquel, welcome. You are needed. That's the first thing you need to know. And so the reason why we want to go through this series and make you a better person is so that whatever purpose it is that God put you on this earth for shall be accomplished. So the first thing you have to know today is that you are needed. You were put on this earth for a purpose. And between you and I, you are definitely accomplished. Welcome, Gloria. So let's get right to it. This is the Making Me series. It is a 5-part series. We hope we can finish it in the 5 parts, because just the one we are doing today, manners, when I was researching on it, I realized that it has a lot of things. I mean, for each thing you mentioned, there are a lot of manners that must come under. Now, let me just go right ahead and tell you the dictionary meaning that I found for manners. It says manners are a way of making it easier to interact with other people. The treatment of other people with courtesy and politeness, and showing correct public behavior. It means that there are certain behaviors we are expecting to see you when you are in public. There are certain behaviors that make it easier for you to interact with people. And then we also it is also required of us that we behave towards people with courtesy and politeness. For all you know, the only thing standing between you and that great thing that you are looking for is your manners. I have met a lot of young people who just talk, who just behave and say, accept me as I am. Unfortunately, there are rules governing the world. There are rules and there are manners that are expected of each of us, whether old, whether young. There are manners that are expected of all of us. And it makes it easier for us to interact with people, and it makes it easier for people to interact with us. So that's what we are going to be handling today. That's what we are going to be talking about. Now, I must warn you, you must be ready to hear some hard truths and some hard facts. And while we listen to those things and apply them, you realize that they make us better. Some of them may sound funny, but they are the ones that will get us to the places that we want to get to. So let's dive right in. And like I said, there's a comment section. So always remember, you can just put in your comments there as I go along. If I see it, I speak about it. If not, I'll finish what I'm saying and then we address it. Welcome one more time. My name is REINASPEAKS. All right. Now, we've already talked about what manners are. Let's go straight to the first point. Now, the first thing that we must handle well is our body language. Whether you are a young woman or a young man, the first thing you must learn to communicate with is your body. If I was saying, for example, oh, I really like your hair. And as I was saying, oh, I really like you, I was like, oh, I really like your hair. And I did that. You see, in the film shows, it may look like it's okay to say, oh, I really like your hair. And that makes it look better. Or it's trying to express that, wow, your hair is nice. But in real life, when you want to express that something is really nice, you must have a smile, a genuine smile. And your body language must portray to the person that what you are saying is really true. So, I really like your hair. Your hair is really nice. That's how you portray it with your body language. Not, I really like your hair. It's really nice. Where we don't know, your expressions don't show us it's really nice, but you're trying to say you're communicating that it's really nice. Now, the first thing you must do is that you must always maintain good posture at all times, whether you are sitting or standing. I know that it is very easy to slouch when you're tired and just sit down and bend over like this. But you'll be surprised to know that one of the things that are looked at when you go for interviews, for example, are the position you sit and stand. So one of the ways to have a good manner or to have good manners is that when you are sitting, you must be up straight and your head must be straight, not in arrogance but in poise. You must sit straight and have your head in poise, so that when somebody comes, you realize that whenever you sit straight and carry yourself in poise, you feel very relaxed. Actually, we normally think that sitting up straight would make you very uncomfortable. On the contrary, it makes you very relaxed, it makes you very confident, and it gives you nice smiles. You feel like a lady when you're sitting straight up, you see. You feel like a gentleman when you're sitting straight up. So let's remember that one of the good ways of having good manners is to sit up straight, to stand up straight, whether you are to be in good posture, that is sitting up straight or standing up straight. Keep your hands to yourself. When one of the things you must learn how to do is to keep your hands to yourself. You see, in this COVID era, we say don't touch anybody, don't shake anybody. You see, these are manners that used to be there a long time ago, and out of modernity, if there's a word like that, we have taken them away. But you see, right now they are back. Keep your hands to yourself for good manners. Do not touch anybody without the person asking to be touched. Do not just hit a person without the person wanting to be hit. Do not rub yourself against somebody. Don't touch people's phones, don't touch people's bags, don't touch anything until you have permission to do so. So one good manner is to keep your hands to yourself. Now the third thing is to put your phone away when you are with others. It is one of the worst body language manners you can send across. That we are all having a conversation, we are all chatting, and all you are thinking about is being on your phone, or you are actually on your phone and you are not paying any attention to us. Well, that is I would say that even I do it. It's a very bad thing. Technology has made us more interested in speaking over the phone than on face to face, than we communicate with it. These days, relationships, and when I say relationships, I mean boyfriend, girlfriend, boss, subordinate, father, mother, brother, sisters, we all prefer to speak on the phone than to speak to each other. But it is a bad manner. When you are with people, the last thing you should be seen holding is your phone. Put it away. It is rude and it is disrespectful to be on your phone while we are all trying to have a conversation. All right. Now, the fourth thing I would say is, which also goes hand in hand with body language, is watch your facial expressions. Watch your facial expressions. Let me try get my hair back so that I can demonstrate a few facial expressions that would be bad for you to have if you were trying to give out a certain message. Okay, so if somebody were to ask you, please, I'm looking for the district assembly. Could you show me the district assembly? Pardon, what did you say? That's a very bad facial expression. Pardon, what did you say? Oh, okay. Just go ahead. Somewhere there. Go somewhere there and then, no, it's wrong. Whether you are male or female, the first thing you need to do is smile at the person because the person is lost. That your smile will calm down the person. And then from there, you try and explain where to find the district assembly. So, oh, okay. Are you lost? Oh, don't worry. I'll show you where it is. If you are unsure of where it is, it's the same procedure. You smile. I'm quite unsure, but let's ask this gentleman coming up. He may be able to tell us where it is. Relax. I'm sure that you will find it in no time. Very nice facial expression, and you've gone. Then also, your facial expression when you are, I see it a lot. That's why I'm using the interviews a lot. Some facial expressions at the interviews I've been able to conduct or have had the privilege to conduct are like they've been forced to be there. Sometimes your facial expression looks as if you've been forced to be there, or the person is privileged to be speaking to you, and it's a very bad manner. It should not be done. You know, you are at an interview, for example, and they ask you a question like, so why do you want to work with us? Well, I saw the advertisement outside and I thought I should apply. Your facial expression is wrong, your body language is wrong, and your answer is wrong. I would be very surprised if you got that job. So our facial expression and our body language are the first things that anybody sees. They are the ones that create the first impressions about us. And if we do not learn how to make our facial expressions work and our body language work, we will always get into all kinds of trouble in spite of who we are. We may be the nicest people to speak with, we may be the nicest people to be with, but our facial expressions and our body language is just driving everybody away. So the first thing in the Making Me series to make you the best version of yourself is that your manners must be intact. And in your manners, your body language must be right. Your facial expression must be right. And your posture must be right. I hope I'm making sense. All right, let's go to number 2. Number 2 is sitting. How you sit. You see, as a lady, whenever you sit down, your legs must be closed together. Either you have one leg across the other, or it is shut. It is not open, so that we see everything. It is shut. Now, that is why it is advisable that every time you are going into public, we'll talk about dressing later on, you must make sure that if you are going to be sitting down, your dress and your skirt must cover your knee. In the event that you completely forget to keep your legs together, your dress will do us the honors of making sure you are properly covered. Now, in the event that you forget to put your legs together and your dress is very short, it means that we are going to be watching a whole lot of movies that we don't want to be watching that day. So, as a lady, when you sit down, whether it is on a bench, in a comfy chair, in a car, in a taxi, wherever you sit, your legs must always stay closed. All the time. Always sit in a position that is best to keep your legs closed. And be conscious when you sit down. Do not sit like a man. It is men who sit with their they sit straight with their legs slightly open. That is not how a lady sits. A lady sits with her legs closed. And for the men as well, they sit straight up with their legs slightly parted. So the men also should sit with their legs slightly parted. They should also not say, oh, we are men. We are allowed to sit in any position we want. We are allowed to sit anyhow we want. So you sit down, then you lift your leg and put it on a chair, or you just open your legs and you are seated there. No. Remember, we are trying to become the best version of ourselves, and therefore when you sit as a man, your legs should be slightly parted, or like I said for the women, you put one leg across the other and you are comfortable. That's for sitting. Also, always leave a little distance between you and the next person when you sit, so that everybody has room enough to function. Even in these days, you're supposed to sit 1 meter apart anyway. So whenever you sit in a place, leave space around you. Now, the other thing I see is that, for example, when we go for programs, we may go with a friend, and the friend would have called from the house that, oh, I'm on my way coming. And there are people standing up. Your friend has not arrived, and you still have an empty seat with your purse. So your purse is practically sitting on the chair, waiting. Please give up the seat for somebody who is standing, somebody who is already at the program. When your friend gets there, your friend must find themselves another place to sit. All right, let's go on to talking. How we talk is also a manner. Now, whenever you are going to talk to somebody, do not talk in their face. Don't talk in their face and throw all kinds of spit in them. So, hello, how are you? What's up? I mean, you're in their face. No, that's scary. For anybody who wants to be a better version of themselves, stand a little distance away and talk to the person. If you are talking to the person and the person is directly in front of you, I would advise that you use your lowest voice that you can find. If the person is quite a distance, you would signal the person to come to you and then talk to the person. You see, all these things they look like very little things, but I'm telling you, they have brought breakthroughs. They have made people win contracts. They've made people get jobs. Just the very little things that we take for granted have made people get things that under normal circumstance they would not get. So you're talking to somebody, stand a short distance away from the person and make your point. And also try not to, the word is blabber. Try not to say too many things when you are trying to say just one thing. That's what the children do. So what happened? So it was 2 weeks ago, Mommy, 2 weeks ago. I had told Abena that I had wanted to take the ice cream from the fridge. And then she said that she will not let me take it. So I told her that next week I'm the one going to be eating the ice cream. And she said, okay, now that next week has come and that I'm trying to eat the ice cream, you see, what that child is doing is it's blabbering. The whole point is that the child wants ice cream. So what is it that you want? Please, I would love some ice cream, full stop. So when you are talking, try not to blabber. Try not to exaggerate your points. Make it. We feel that by talking more, we are making ourselves more explainable. But sometimes when you talk more, you confuse your listener. The Bible says that the effectual, fervent prayer of a righteous man availeth much. Not the effectual, long prayer. Effectual, fervent prayer. So effectual means it is on point. Fervent means it is frequent, which means it is done a lot. You see, so make sure that you are not just blabbering, you are not just saying all kinds of things, but you are making the points that are necessary for that person. All right. Now, another thing I see very common these days is that people slang. I don't know why it is necessary I don't know why you feel it necessary to slang. There is no need for you to slang when you are speaking. Speak your normal Ghanaian, Nigerian, Spanish, French, English, and the hearer will make it a point to try and understand what you're saying. If when I put on this thing, I just said, well, good evening, ladies. Today we'll be speaking about manners. And manner is a way of speaking or a way of doing things that make things easier to interact with other people. The treatment of other people is with courtesy and politeness. I would like you to listen very carefully to me. Somebody would immediately be put off and go off. Because first of all, the person knows that I do not slang. Number two, when you are trying to slang, when it is not your natural way of speaking, it sounds very bad. It sounds irritating. It sounds, you are making more effort than you should, so there's likely to be more spit coming out of your mouth. There's likely to be more air coming out of your mouth. So don't slang. If it is English you are speaking, speak it in the accent that you know how to speak it, and we are okay with you. If it is she you are speaking, speak she. If it's a local language, speak it locally. Don't try and Europeanize the local language. And I'm saying about free approach by and then some kids were crowd. They call KFC, no more need ya may paint me. Imagine say I will go to Burger King. You see, every time you do that, somebody is just looking at you and like, why is this person suffering like that? Why doesn't the person just speak? So try not to slang. If you were born abroad and that is the way you speak, hallelujah, praise the Lord. But if you were born in the local country and you can speak very good English without having to slang, do not slang when you are speaking. It is not a good manner. Also, don't switch. Immediately you are speaking to a white person, immediately your English becomes white people's English. The rest of us standing there are confused as to when you became a white person. No. Speak. When they get here, they want to learn the way we speak. So there's no need for us to turn over quickly. You see. Also, when you are speaking, one of the things you need to do is look at the person you are speaking. Don't be talking to a person and then have your head down. So as I was saying, you see, we are trying to get some bags into the shop. No. And then when you also look at the person, don't have an intimidating look. So you see, as I was saying, we're trying to get the bags into the store. And I'd like to know when you are ready to have the bags in the store. That's intimidating. So because we said look at the person does not mean, first of all, intimidate the person with your looks. To make the person see that you too, you there. And if you want to look, you can look at the person's face. That's not what we are doing. You are just maintaining eye contact so that you can pay attention to what is being said. And you can grasp what is being said. It also makes the person pay attention when you are also speaking. So when you are talking to somebody, maintain eye contact. The nicest and the sweetest eye contact that you can, that is possible. All right. Now let's go to the phone. How many of you think we should talk about manners on the phone? I think we should talk about manners on the phone, don't you? Yes, talk about manners on the phone. Now, from the moment you pick a phone to the time that you drop the phone, you have communicated who you are on the phone. Without meeting you, that person knows who you are just by speaking to you on the phone. So, when it is a phone call, the first thing you do when you pick up the phone is say, hello. Not yo, Charlie, what up? No. A lady or a gentleman does not do that, even if it is your friend. The first thing you say is hello, because you see, sometimes, I think most of the times, we assume that it is the person going to pick the phone anyway, so what's the bother? But it may not always be that person you are expecting who picks the phone. So when you pick up the phone, hello, then listen for a response from the other side before you proceed. That's number one. Number two, don't be talking on the phone and to somebody else at the same time. So, hello, hey, phenomena bra, hey, what is that? And the person is on the phone and you are doing, I know we are corporates, all of us are corporates. I had my head in shame. We are all corporates, but we are trying to make ourselves better. So don't talk to somebody on the phone and be talking to somebody else. If you feel it is necessary for you to solve whatever it is that's going on, excuse yourself and say, please, I'll call you back in a minute or two. And then go solve it and then make sure you get back to the person. Also, try and keep your volume down. Never put somebody on speakerphone without telling the person that they are on speakerphone. You may be in the kitchen, you are trying to do something, and therefore the person is on speakerphone. Immediately put the person on speakerphone. Charlie, or my dear, I'm trying to do something, so I'll put you on speakerphone so that I can do it while I speak to you. But don't just put the person on speakerphone, because the person may be trying to say something sensitive, and not everybody can hear the person. So once you tell that person decides whether he still goes ahead with what he or she is saying, or will wait until they are off speakerphone. Now, also do not use certain words when you are speaking on the phone, especially if you are speaking with an elderly person. Chale has come to stay. Before you know what's going on, you are speaking with your aunt and you're like, Chale. And your aunt's like, okay. Seems somebody's confused here. So what I would really advise us to do is that, whether you are speaking English, when you are speaking any language, whether you are speaking it, typing it, or writing it, use the correct form of the language. Don't use the pidgin part or the broken part or the modernized part of the language. Use the correct part of the language to speak. All right. Now let's go to typing, which is the most common thing now. WhatsApp, email, Telegram. I mean, there are so many places to type. Google Chat, Facebook Live, Facebook itself. I mean, there are so many ways of typing. And these days, there are so many shorthand forms of words. LOL, laughing out loud. LMAO, laughing my ass off. Who can give me some more of these things that have come these days? Well, is it WULLNP, wishing you long life and prosperity? Instead of writing full good morning, you write GM. Good evening is GE. First of all, you could easily go and write those things down when you are writing for an exam. And then before you know it, you are talking to your boss on a chat and you are using them. They are rude, they are disrespectful, they should not be used. So if you are part of Reina Speaks today, I want to tell you that any form of a language you are speaking or writing, make sure that you are writing the correct form and that you are speaking the correct form of a language. It is a good manner. It is something good to, I know, right? IKR. I know, right? That's what it means. Make sure you are using Woman Crash Wednesday. Thank you. Which one is the WCE? I don't know what the WCE means. So make sure you are writing the full form of the language. You are writing the correct Woman of God, WOG. Write the correct form, the full form of the language. Do not use the shorthand, whether you are typing to a friend, whether you are, thank you, Lord Jesus, yes, whether you are typing to a friend, to whoever you are typing to, use the correct form of the English, the correct form of the language that you are speaking. Also, when chatting with elderly people and people in high ranking, minimize emojis to the barest minimum or don't use them at all. Emojis have come to stay, but what we have not realized is that emojis are for people you can relate with, people you have a certain relationship with, not just anybody. One of the things I realize on Facebook these days is that when people send you a friend request and you accept the friend request, then the person will send you a message and say, hi dear. Immediately I block you. Because first of all, you don't know me. And second of all, I'm not your dear. We need to know each other for like 5 years for you to be able to call me hi dear. But they'll just go straight ahead into your inbox and go and write hi dear. It's impolite. It is not polite. So do not just use emojis on anybody at all. Any elderly person, the person says good morning, then you send the emoji with that is blushing, with a smile. That's your way of saying good morning to the person. It is not right. It is not correct. I say it with a smile on my face. Write the right words. Communicate properly, because everybody has how they interpret those emojis. So if that person does not have that kind of relationship with you, the person may not understand why you have sent the emoji with a kiss. And all that you meant was, oh, wow, wonderful. You've done well. Then you've gone to send a kiss and the person is thinking that, so this small chatter that I'm having with this lady or this gentleman, he thinks I like him. But that is not what you meant. So emojis are interpreted in different ways to different people. Make sure you and that person have that kind of relationship before you start using emojis. I would advise you not to use emojis when you are speaking to elderly people or people in high rank, like your pastor, your boss, your pastor, your boss, anybody who is in high rank or somebody that you do not know very, very well. Do not use emojis with that person. Brainy, is that you? Welcome. So those are some of the things you must make sure we are doing. Also, there are certain things and certain ways that are not allowed in the public. Now, for example, I'm going to rub off on some people not too good, but you see, like I said, we are trying to be the best versions of ourselves. Now, to be the best version of something, it means you cannot be like every other person. You cannot be like you see, every time that iPhones are made, people rush to get it. You know why? iPhone is unique. iPhone is different. They have maintained their difference for a very, very long time. So iPhone is not the same as an Android phone. No matter what they do, no matter how expensive the iPhone is, people will get it. iPhone comes this week, by next week it is out of stock, because there's a certain uniqueness. There's a certain way it is made and presented that the other phones have not been able to reach. And if you want to become the best version of yourself, that is how you should be. You should not be like every other person. You should not be like, your dressing should not be like every other person. The way you speak should not be like every other person. The way you relate should not be like every other person. If not, you are not being the best version. You are just being a version of another version, So one of the things that we must also watch is our attitude in public. Our attitude in public. Please remember that you can just type any question you have in the comment section, or you can make a contribution in the comment section and I'll look at it. In public is where a lot of people are watching you. And I don't mean watching you so that you can get a husband. That is not the only reason why they are watching you. Somebody may need somebody to work. Somebody may need somebody to do exactly what you're doing, how you are doing it. And that may be the next place, the next place that propels you to your next height. But because of something you did in public, you diffuse. You walk in looking very nice, very snatched, very proper. And then you do one thing and they're like, oh, it was just a covering. They just know how to do makeup, but they are not courteous. For example, when you go for a party or you go for a social gathering, watch the way you dance. We know you are the best dancer in your family. We know you won the 2015 best dancing competition in your area. Please, for crying out loud, it is not at that party that you will show it. There are no trophies being shared at that party, and that is not the place to show your dancing skills, and forget about yourself. You'll be saying, then Reina, it means that we have to be prim and proper. Yes, you are becoming the best version of yourself. You are becoming like the iPhone 11 Pro Max, which cannot be found in every pocket, which cannot be found in every home, who not everybody can afford. That is what you're trying to be. You don't want to be like the iPhone 4, where everybody can get. So since you want to become a better version of yourselves, there are things that you must let go. One of them is over-dancing in public. Do not over-dance. All of a sudden, that is where you remember you can twerk. That is where you remember that you know how to shake. You are dressed so nicely. You've forgotten that you've pulled up your dress. And then you are dancing. It's like, Charlie, this music, the one I hear, I cannot control myself. Something is doing me. No. I have all the best music I like on a device. When I feel like dancing, you ask my house people, when you come out, I've put on the highest volume, and I'm dancing in my room. When I come out, you think that I don't know how to dance. When I dance, I'll just be smiling and looking at you and everything. I was a choreographer. I can dance. I can make steps for any music. But it is not at that party that I'm going to show I'm a choreographer. So one of the ways to make sure that you maintain your poise in public is to make sure that you do not overdance. Another thing is, don't overeat. Did I hear a clap for me? Or somebody clapping? Oh, thank you so much for clapping for me. Do not overeat. Yes, it's a buffet. Yes, it's eat as much as you want. But it is better for you to go for 5 rounds than to walk from the buffet table with a plate full of food heaped to the top. If you're a woman, it's worse. We don't know how you are wearing that dress and going to fit in all that food into your tummy. So please, when you are outside, eat as little as you can. My bishop used to say that eat before you go for any wedding, eat before you go for any party, so that you are already full. He says that food is one of the things that can disgrace you the most. You can forget, when you are hungry, you can forget all your debialities and just eat. So eat something small before you leave your house, so that when you get there, you are not so hungry that you are craving and chasing after the food. I've been for weddings, for parties where ladies are so dressed. When I look at the lady, I'm like, I mean, where the yanku ponto on a bono. You're a woman, but you see another woman, you're like, hey, this one is a woman. Then the person walks from the buffet table to her table, and you look at the tower she's coming to pass by with you, and like, oh my God. And we look at all those things. You'll be surprised. All those things are looked at. Everything is looked at. So do not overfeed yourself. You see, you took just a gift worth 20 Ghana cedis to the couple, and now you want to make sure that you have eaten your 20 Ghana cedis before you leave. We beg. You see. Also, in public, learn to be very, very polite in public. You see, public is a place where you meet so many people that you don't know. So don't overdo anything in public. Try and maintain your cool for the longest possible time that you can in public. You may never know who is watching, and you may never know who is there. For example, I remember going to Barclays Bank in Obuasi, and there was a long line of people there. And then a guy came and just walked past us and went to the front desk. Apparently, there's something called prestige customer, and they're allowed to just walk in and then conduct their transactions and leave. Some of us were just standing there. We assumed that this is Ghana, whom you know. We didn't know about the prestige customer, so we just assumed in Ghana, if you know somebody, you can do your things fast. But one man couldn't take it. He started shouting on top of his voice. And the guy who came as a prestige customer just maintained his cool and let the man finish talking. When he finished talking, he asked him that, do you know what we mean by prestige customer? The man was looking at his face. He says, I'm a prestige customer. I'm allowed to walk in at any time and conduct a transaction at any time without having to join the queue. Now, here all of us were like, hey, Charlie, if we had gone to say some, we would have been branded as ignorant. So whenever you are in public, try and maintain your cool as much as possible. I mean, maintain it to the level where when you are not talking, those around you even say that as at now you should be angry. We are even surprised that as at now you are still this cool. Try and maintain your cool as much as possible. Now, in public, the next thing I want to say is in public, do not make anybody look little. Don't put yourself in a certain class in public and try and belittle anybody in public. It is a very bad thing to do. You know, because that day, by the grace of God, you've been able to get a few dresses to wear. So now you don't speak to certain people. You don't relate with certain people. It is wrong. It is wrong. I'm telling you, the richest people, the way they dress when they are coming out, you'll be shocked to know that they are not the ones who buy these big things. Or these Brazilian, it's not the rich people who buy it. Look at Bill Gates and Mark Zuckerberg. What do they wear? You may never know who you are meeting. I remember the first time I met Anita Esking, I was expecting something that should, you know what I mean. But she was very down to earth, very loving, very kind. Oh, she made it so easy to relate with her. That's how it should be. When you are in public, you should be very easy to relate with, no matter how and who you are. You see, in this COVID era, we are all the same in this COVID era. COVID does not know rich. It does not know poor. It does not know tall. It does not know short. It does not know ugly or beautiful. It is COVID. If it is coming for you, it's coming for you. You see. So make sure that when you are in public, you are on your best behavior. Also, when you are in public, please, the quarrel you are having on the phone, we cannot have the details. So we wouldn't mind if either you cut the phone short, the phone call short, or you wait and get home and then have that quarrel, because you are cheating us. You see, we can hear only your side. We cannot hear the other side, and you are very upset too in public. And we have no idea what's going on. Now that's not nice. Wouldn't you want to know what's going on the other side and be able to judge the case more effectively, for want of a better word? So if somebody is upsetting you on the phone in public, the best thing is to tell the person that I'll call you back, or don't, let us address this issue at a later time. Now, One thing, this is quite a controversial issue I'm going to bring up, but I will bring it up anyway. Like I said, it's a Making Me series, and we are trying to be the best versions of ourselves. So if you forget anything, the video will be on the page. You just come back and listen to it, and then you can apply. Like I said in the beginning, if we just listen and watch and we do not apply, then it will have no impact on us whatsoever. All right, now to dress. To be the best version of yourself, you must always make sure you are dressed decently. Let me give you a very practical example that everybody can relate to. When Prince Harry and Prince William were getting married, there was a dress code. Who remembers that? There was a dress code. Whether you were a hip-hop artist, whether you were a striptease, whether no matter the kind of job you did, and no matter the kind of celebrity you were, if you wanted to be at that wedding, there was a dress code. And that's how you must be. Anytime you are seen in public, you must be dressed so respectfully that anybody who approaches you to speak to you will speak to you respectfully. Whether we like it or not, there are certain dressings you have that do not give us the ability to speak. When we immediately see you, no matter how high up you are, we just reduce your level. And you'll be there and say, oh, accept me as I am. Accept me. No, we can't. Sorry, we cannot. Because there are things we are expecting to see from such a responsible young man, such a responsible young lady. There are things we need to see. You see, you can't show up at an interview wearing a short dress and say that I'm the best HR, I'm the best typist there is. This is how I like to dress. Nobody will give you the job. And it will not be because you are not qualified. It will be because you are not dressed well. When you are coming out in public, your private parts are your private parts. Keep them private. Do not expose your thighs. Do not expose your breasts. Do not expose your buttocks. Do not expose anything that is not supposed to be exposed. I am not talking from any religious background. I am talking from manners. If we see a young lady who is not dressed well, our first impression of that young lady is that, first of all, she doesn't respect her parents, because for her to come, or her parents themselves are not respectable. For them to leave her to come out from the house looking like that, that's number one. Number two, we do not think you are responsible enough to handle anything. So when you are in public, the way you dress should be very different. You should be fully covered, well covered. If you have makeup on, it should not be makeup that is so loud that you stand out. When you are a guy, there are certain hairstyles you cannot have on to be respectable. No matter, I remember they used to tell me, I forget the name of the musician. He was a hip hop artist, but I had never seen him dress anyhow I don't know how many of you know Puff Daddy, P. Diddy. I'm kind of old school, so I don't know how many of you know him. But if you see P. Diddy, he's a hip hop artist. He's one of the best hip hop artists that has lived. But he's always dressed decently. He's a gentleman. He's always dressed decently. So there's no excuse to look ragged. As a guy, then you are outside and your trousers is halfway down your buttocks. In the name of Autofista, no. You must not follow every form of fashion if you want to become the best version of yourselves. And these days, it is amazing to see that young ladies in the church are wearing dresses above their knee in church. And we can't talk about it. Okay, well, I will talk about it. I will. But it is wrong. When you sit, like I said in the beginning, your legs must be together. Now, we are human beings. In the event that you are so tired and you forget and you leave your legs open, it means that when your dress is not covering your knee, Netflix free. Now we are just watching. You see, to become the best version of yourself, I said you must do things that are not normal. What an iPhone 5 can do, what an iPhone Pro Max 11 can do, an iPhone 5 cannot do. Every time we see you, you must have upgraded. You must look better. You must have a better understanding. You must have learned better lessons. But every time we see you, you are the same. Every time we see you, accept me as I am. Every time we see you, this is who I am, I don't want to change. We will stop relating with you. We will just laugh with you because you are human. But when we need somebody to do something responsible, when we need to recommend somebody, you will not be the person that we recommend. So what happens is that you stay where you are all the time. All the time. So I don't care what people say about me. Yes, of course, you shouldn't care what people say about you. But you must, what they say about you, well, it depends. If what they are saying is true, if people keep saying you are rude, and you say you don't care what people are saying about you, it is to your own detriment. Because rudeness is not a manner. It is not a good manner. You see? But if they are just saying things to downplay you and degrade you, those ones, you can just ignore it and be you. But make sure that in spite of the fact that you don't want to be ruled by what people say, the message you are putting across to them is a good message. You must be a good example of a good example. When people are talking to their girl children, they just say, be like Farida. She dresses nicely and decently and she's well spoken, she respects. Be like Kwejo. He respects his elders and he talks nicely and he dresses like a gentleman. They should be able to give those examples, even if you are not there. But people should not be saying that, no, I beg, don't be like so and so. As for her, when we talk about her issue, then she'll get upset. I beg you. People should not see you wearing something in public and they are too scared to come and tell you, oh, this thing is too short. Because when you turn around to respond, it will not be a simple thing like that. Most of the people I know I'll be talking to are young men and women. And I want you to understand something. I may be wearing this wig. And the wig may look very nice. You cannot afford it. Don't buy it. I'm over 40 years. The kind of things I've done, the kind of jobs I've done and where I am now, it is possible, it is impossible. It is possible you are not able to afford it. So one of the things that also show manners, you'll be surprised, is to cut your coat according to your size. If I see a 23-year-old girl wearing a weave that cost 2,000 Ghana cedis, whether she borrowed it from her mother, whether she borrowed it from her friend, whether her auntie brought it from London for her, whether she's just from a rich home and they bought it for her, I have a certain mind. My son will not marry such a woman or will not go out with such a woman. Because if at 23 you are wearing a wig that costs 2,000 Ghana cedis, we cannot afford you already. My daughter will not befriend such a girl because she will give her too many ideas. Sometimes you can even afford something, but you deliberately refuse to use it. Put yourself in check. So when we are talking about manners, we are talking generally, like I said, the definition is that a way of making it easier to interact with other people. Manners is a way of making it easier to interact with other people. And then the treatment of other people with courtesy and politeness. You must always be courteous. Do not call an elderly person by their first name in public. You may have a very nice relationship with the person, but in public we don't know about that. So maybe when you are with me, you call me Nanefia and I'm cool. Then when we get outside, you just say Nanefia. It's wrong. It's disrespectful. Because the person has given you a chance to do so does not mean that overstep the boundaries. Never do that. If you know them, no matter how well you know them, once you are in church, once you are in school, once you are at work, when you are outside, you must use the person's title for them. And that person must use your title for you, if you have one. And it also says manners is a way of showing correct public behavior. My dears, my sisters and brothers, there is correct public behavior. And no matter what you say, no matter how much you want us to accept you, if you do not demonstrate those correct public behaviors, you will not become a better version of yourself. And the Making Me series would not have achieved its aim. So make sure you are doing what you must do, how you must do, and you are demonstrating courtesy. Please and thank you. It's one of the easiest things that should come out of your mouth. Can you please give me the bag? Thank you. Everything must be please and thank you. So much that people are like, hey, Ade, you like saying please and thank you so much. It must be so much that we are tired of hearing it from you. Please and thank you. It must be a lot in your sentences. You must show genuine thanks when somebody does something for you. Do not put thank you in categories. This one, what he did deserves a thank you. This one, what he did not deserve a thank you. So you have put thank yous in categories. This one, all he brought was a pen. I don't need to say thank you. This one gave me 50 Ghana, so I should say thank you. No. We don't have please and thank yous. We don't have categories for please and thank yous. Just be somebody who is fond of using please and thank you, no matter what it is. And sorry. Say sorry. Say sorry. Don't let us come. You see, it's like we have to have a certain meeting with you before you know that you were supposed to say sorry. Meanwhile, what you did was not correct. We have to call you and say, so don't you know you are supposed to say sorry? Or your friend has to come and say that this thing that you did was wrong, so say sorry. Or your pastor has to call you. Your mother has to, somebody has to tell you that what you did was wrong before you say sorry. And saying sorry is not just saying sorry to elderly people. Sometimes you have upset even your children, our children, we say sorry to them. Then after you have said the sorry to, don't try and justify the thing that you did. It nullifies the sorry that you said. You said sorry, but I'm sorry, but you see. Immediately you say I'm sorry, but you see. It has nullified the sorry that you originally said. So the first thing we are learning of becoming a better version of ourselves is the way we carry ourselves. And the way we carry ourselves involves the way we speak, the way we walk, the way we relate with people, the way we dress, and the way we talk on the phone and in public. These are the things that will be the first things, the first impressions that people get of us are these things that we have talked about. When you come out and when you step out and somebody meets you for the first time, what is the impression the person has gotten about you? What is the impression the person goes home with? Does the person go home and say, the person may not even have spoken to you that day, but you have just the way you walked into the room and the smile you had and the way you behaved with politeness and courtesy, you stick in the person's brain. That's how come sometimes you go somewhere and somebody says, I've seen you before, and you cannot remember where you saw the person. It's two things that happen. You put on a very bad behavior so the person can remember, or you put on a very good behavior so the person can remember. The choice is yours. All right, so I'm rounding up. If there are any questions, please start putting them. If there are contributions, please just put them in the comment box, and then we can proceed from there. If you go to your friend's house, your friend invites you over, your fiancé or fiancée invites you over to their house. I know that in Ghana, one of the tests that are put across, I don't think it should be a test, seriously. There's no need for it to be a test, is that when you go, for example, if you're a woman and you go to visit the guy's parents, they're expecting you to go and help the mother in the kitchen. It is not courtesy. I wouldn't want you in my kitchen. I don't know you. You just entered my house. It is not courtesy. Please, the guys, speak to your mothers. It is not courtesy that she should come and cook, come and show that she is womanly by entering the kitchen. I mean, I could come there and show myself in the kitchen, and meanwhile, when we get married, I'm not interested in going to the kitchen. It is not courtesy at all to enter your to-be-in-law's house the very first time and just to prove something, go into the woman's kitchen. No, it is not acceptable. You need to have been there more than once and to have developed a relationship to be able to go there. It is a private place. You should not be there at all. I would not even advise mothers to encourage it, because you see, that is the first time the lady is coming there. There is no guarantee that it's going to even end up in a marriage. So imagine that if there are going to be 6 girls, all of them will come into your kitchen and see what it looks like. Very soon you'll be all over the town. Mommy will keep in the kitchen neat. Or sorry, so not eating and then mama. You see, so don't encourage those things. That is not a test anybody should try and impose upon anybody. You know, like the man too goes home and they are expecting the man that he should go and wash the to-be father-in-law's car. Those things are not enough. In fact, they don't speak anything about anybody. It is easy to just do that and get away with it and say, oh, Obaha, he was able to cook for us, he was able to wash. It means that it's a good, it is not a criteria. Unfortunately, it is not. There should be a deeper relationship before that happens. When you visit your to-be-in-laws, your best position is on the chair that you were given, sitting up straight with a very beautiful smile, answering whatever questions and trying to build a relationship with them. Now, the last thing I'm going to say before we go into the questions and the contributions is that one of the best ways to become the best version of yourselves and to show good manners is to make sure that you are interacting with people correctly, like we said. And one of those ways is to make yourself as approachable as possible. People should find it easy to come to you, to speak to you. They should not find you too arrogant. They should not find you too moody. They should not find it difficult that every time they speak to you, when they leave, they are upset. Every time they speak to you, when they leave, they are more confused than they came. You should be easy to speak to. You should be approachable. And people should want to talk to you. It makes you the best version of yourself. It makes it easier to flow with you. And it makes it easier for people to recommend you for things. So that's all we are going to be talking about today. Thank you so much. Now, if you have any question or contribution, I'll take them. If not, we will end and then meet again next week. So I'm opening the lines for any questions and any contributions. Remember, like I said, the video will be on the page. So in case you missed the initial parts, you can just go back and watch and leave a comment, leave a like, start a watch party, share it so that other people too can join. All right, any questions? Or contributions? And like I said, remember that this is the Making Me series, becoming the best version of yourself, and it is a 5-part series. Today we tackled manners. That's what we tackled today. Next week we're going to be tackling something else. So you watch out for the posters, you watch out for the time and everything, and then join us and invite somebody to join us as well. All right, if there are no questions, I want to say a very, very, very big thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak to you. A big God bless you for joining us. Everybody who joined, I'm so delighted that you did. God bless you. We will meet next week. If you go and find out you didn't ask a certain question you wanted to, just come back to the page and put the question there and we can answer it next week, or I can just put the comment in the comment box for you. Thank you so much. Let's invite more people. We want our group to have 2,000 members, 3,000 members. So I'm sure that you invite more people. Please put reviews on the page and tell us how much you enjoyed this session. And if there's anything you think we could do to improve it as well, we'll be happy if you could put it up. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Reina. See you next week.